That went down my back. And I'm on fire. Right. Yeah. Looks like I'm going to be splicing some airlines, guys. Hey, Eddie, what you doing?
Clark, did you do that?
Yeah, I did that. I didn't want you to get shot.
Taking up that ground wire?
Uh-huh.
Good, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep, safety first round.
I understand.
Fixing to show you a pattern I'm building. And I'm using the Creality Falcon 2 Pro for this. This is going to be a pattern for a 6x6 by 4-inch wide angle plate. We will be making wider ones in the future, but right now I'm just trying to get the 4-inch proofed out. And we're going to have these ready to take to the Bar Z Bash next month. Yes, my friends, we're finally going to make it back to the Bash. I haven't figured out how long we're going to be in California yet, but I want to have this job ready, Lord be willing, cast. But it's going to be a very busy month and a half with the ongoing construction, along with this job that I'm doing currently. If these were patterns, it wouldn't have been a problem, but we're using actual castings, and I haven't had time to prep these. I'll show you what I'm doing. The castings were in really bad shape. There was no way these were pulling out of the sand. There were huge voids. I'm showing you just a little bit of the surface here. That's how this entire surface was on the inside and out. I started ramming up the simple ones because there were going to be so many of them. And now we're focused on these, and I'll tell you, it's going to shut me down on everything else until we get this job out. But I can't mold them until we fill in these voids in the casting, because it's going to look terrible in the mold if we were to try to ram these up and pull them just like that. We're going to try to put filler on these and get it to where it looked as close to the original on the pattern as possible in order to use these. Yes, these are going to shrink by a slight degree. And also, there are a lot of holes, like on this one. I got to be careful because I just but I went ahead and filled that hole in. And then I had to fill this side. I got to sand all that and then coat it with graphite, and hopefully this will turn out. But what I thought was going to take a week is going to take 2 weeks. We just finished up cutting this piece. This is our face, and it's kind of hard to read the detail, but I engraved all of this. It's probably I don't have my calipers on me. I'm going to say it's about 1/16 deep on the detail, but it's got Windy Hill Foundry, made in USA, and then up here it's got 6x6 by 4, and this is just the first section. Now I got to cut 7 more layers to build up the sides for this 1/2. The profile is 2.5 thousandths less on each one, so L1 is bigger than L4, so I have to laser engrave each one just to make sure I keep them in the right order, because I will mess up. My overall width is 10.6, and my height for that is going to be 8.6. So I went ahead and cut a piece 12 by 10, and I have it laid in there. And now I'm going to click on the camera button, and now I can position this right on the board. Let's see, I need to nudge it just a little more over here, and that'll work. It's going to start off by engraving the L1 through the L4, and then from there it will cut out the profile. The detail is amazing. This is just MDF, guys, 1/4 inch MDF. Anyway, this greenhouse is really old, and I had to build in, because you see how rough the finish is? You're going to have that with castings. That's not going to pull from the sand and leave a decent finish. So what I'm doing, I'm layering it up with paint right now, trying to fill in all the low spots. I've already got this one pretty good. This was far worse. There was no way that was coming out of the sand without building that up a little bit. But I had to do that on the interior of this one and on this side. I don't know if you can see it that well. Also, we had holes that had to be plugged right here. And this side looked really bad. This part was actually broken in half. I hope that will hold for us to ram up. One of the other things I'm concerned with is the slots. If they're not exactly perpendicular, if not draft angled back, it's not going to pull from the sand this way, because that's how this is going to pull. This one, I believe I'm going to ram it like that, and I'm going to pull it like this. This one, you can actually see the draft angle taper here and here, which tells me this part has to be pulled that way. This casting here will be pulled this way. Now this casting had a great big square hole in it. Now originally this would have had a good quality Foundry pattern with a core print and then a core box to cast that in there. We don't have that, so I'm filling it in. And then this piece, I only had one hole on it. This is the only piece I'm not having to do anything with. Well, yep, I got to fill that hole in. Yep, how did I miss that? Well, that's some of the things I'm working on today. And this part was heavily galvanized. I mean, this thing had gobs of galvanized that was just gooped all in this area. I had to take my rotary file and get most of that out there and here in order to leave that transition. We want this to look as close to the original casting as we possibly can get it. Sometimes we have to do some very primitive things just to make stuff work. Someone chimed in on my last video saying it's apparent that this process could be automated. No, it's apparent you don't know what we do. And I'm probably shoot myself in the foot here. I did not plug these square holes. I'm thinking I might be able to pull that off. If not, it will leave a print of the feature there for them to go by. I didn't plug these either. What I'm going to attempt to do is push sand halfway up in here in the middle, because there's no draft angle. It's going to tear the outsides of the square a little bit, but if I can pull that off, I'm more concerned with this guy right here. I seriously thought about just going ahead and filling that in. But all that takes time, guys. Almost done laser engraving the numbers where I don't get each one mixed up. Next thing it's going to do is it's going to cut the holes out first, and then it'll cut out the actual pattern. You know, someone was asking me about consumables for these. I'm going to tell you, I have not had to buy anything other than electricity for it and wood to cut with, right? The lasertricity is so minute, I have not noticed it on my electric bill, and I keep this thing running quite a bit now. This is finished. I will put some glue on each piece, and there is a slight degree of taper overall. When we get the other half cut, I'll show you what we're going to do. But we're going to have, with the pattern, we're going to have, let's see, just on the top part, it is 1 inch and just look, yeah, 3/16. So you're going to have more than 100 thousandths there to machine off on this side to clean everything up. And this is at the narrowest point, so it'll just increase, not by much, but it'll increase as you get down to the middle of it. I'm anxious to see how long it's going to take to run the other half of this. This side says made in the USA, and then this side, Mississippi. Everything else will be the same. The longest part of the whole run is going to be making this piece right here, because you have to laser engrave all that detail, and then it won't take long at all to go ahead and cut the holes out. And on the very last one, on the L7, this is on the R's now. We're on the L's on this one. You got a left and right side. So on the other one, I'm going to delete this hole here. I only did that for orientation, where I'd know which way to keep these turned. I guess I could have easily just done it with this feature instead, but anyway, enough chatting. Let's get this thing running. And I'm not standing here for the next hour, so we're going to go do something else. Well, I've got some straight edges, some Rooker straight edges, getting stress relieved. Once this hits 1375, I'll switch it over to automatic, and then I can forget about it. Until then, I need to monitor the time and the temp, and once it hits that 1375, I'm going to let it soak for 1 hour, and then from there I'll switch it to automatic. And I just wet this again, see how it's starting to level out, and I did the same thing here. And I have these slightly tilted downhill to keep our draft angle consistent. So give that another hour. I might flood that just a little more, and then let it go. Okay, I flooded it one more time with paint, and I've got it again on an angle to where it's level in this plane, but this plane, no, it leans back. So I have this one pretty much orientated the same way. Flooded it one more time, so that should leave me a very nice inside finish where it won't grab the sand when I go to pull this. So I've already glued these up. I'm going to let these set for about 25 minutes. Overall, that general plane is flat, so I'll just glaze it with filler with a straight edge going this way, and that will put me a nice flat plane there as I get ready to get these round up. And as I was just telling you that, this finished up on the last of the 7 legs that are going to fill this side up. So I'm going to have a right and a left.
I mean, we're measuring over 100 mile an hour wind.
Works Road. Let's go closer in on that 104 if you don't mind. And over by Manship Road, we're now over 100 miles per hour in the wind speed.
So Eddie just got some of my cold water pipe run. Yes, we are using PEX. I've never experienced it. Always heard about it, and that's what we're going to use here in the building. And this is going to be a little break area, and we're going to have a sink here and the drain for that. So we're going into the bathroom here. Toilet's there. We got a corner sink that goes here, and he's fixing to tee into this and put another line there for the sink, I think, right?
Right.
And that drain goes to that. And then right here, you can just barely see it. I got it covered up right now, but that's the drain for the shower. And the shower head's going to be on this wall. So, very excited. And then you come around here to the outside of the bathroom on the back side. Right here. And yeah, we got a water cooler that's going right there. I got a utility sink that's going to go right here. And then it's going to also be out beyond the clean out there if we ever have to access that. And now I am putting a shelf in, and we're going to put our water heater right here up high out of the way in that corner. And then we'll run our hot water and the electrics for that. Dollar. Yeah. Good girl. I think this is going to look good, guys. Couldn't do this quality of work without the Creality Falcon 2 Pro, though. The humidity is high, and I am probably going to have to dry out the tools again. We had a storm last night, and we're getting another one here in a few hours. I was hoping to pour these molds this evening. We'll see. We'll see how the weather does. If it looks like we're going to keep our power, I'll just go ahead and keep the schedule. Now on thin patterns like this, I want to get this layer as hard as I can for several reasons. One is we want this as tight as we can get it along the seams, because we have very little barrier between the pattern and the edge of this flask. I'm also going to bank it. Alright, so that's almost as hard as the wood. Now it should stay in the flask, but I'm going to pick the follow board up along with everything else. Just make sure. I'm going to probably cut a gate like this on one side, tap into it. I'm going to put a 3 overhead risers just to help evacuate the gases where it'll fill fast. And and that's it. I love a good tomato and bologna sandwich. I usually go up here to my cracker station, and they would normally have some really good ripe tomatoes. They don't have any. And I asked them why, and they said, well, we were paying $20-something a box for them, and now they want $50 a box. So I guess there is a shortage of tomatoes. I went to a vegetable stand today. Man, they had the biggest tomatoes. Those things were this big, and they were ripe. So I bought 4 of them for $12. Yeah, $12 for just 4 big tomatoes. Don't get me wrong, they're nice size. I'll be able to eat sandwiches off of those for several days, but Everything's gone sky high except my prices. I did a few years ago kind of see this coming, so I did raise them to a price where I could kind of hold my ground there and survive, I think. But now they start messing with my tomatoes. You talking about war now. Tappy tap tap. That looks good enough. And we can't forget this part. That really needs to be there in order to fill the runner. If you don't have this, you don't have that, and you don't have that. So I haven't explained this pattern, but my plan is to make an iron casing, which we just poured, and that one did not turn out well. It is missing some of the detail there on the end. So I had a chance to go ahead and ram up another one and try this again a little different way. And we have this one, which looks really good except for right there. But all the other detail, unlike this one, came out. So I'm getting there. Probably one more attempt, 3 times is a charm. We should nail this. Well, my friends, this video has been all over the board. No general theme to it. But actually, that's the reality of my daily life here. Those castings that I was showing you earlier in the video, they have not been prepped before I got them. I'm having to do all kinds of work to those just to get those released right from the sand. So that's kind of thrown a wrench in everything else until we get this job. The road trip Keith and I are going to take, I'm really looking forward to. I'm anxious to just get away from this place and shut everything off for at least 2 weeks. My wife said I can stay gone as long as I want. So Keith and I may take a whole month of it. I don't know. Yep, we're gonna pack a lunch and we're gonna hit the road, and we're gonna try to make it to Middleton, Texas, on the first day, and then from there we're gonna go to Tucson, and we're gonna stay there for a little while, and then we're gonna head on to the bash from there and get there in a timely fashion. And Keith's already got an itinerary all mapped out on our route to and from. He asked me, he said, what places would I like to see? So I come up with a few ideas, and he put them down, put all but one. I really wanted to see the world's biggest ball of yarn, and it's not on here. I'm sure we can make some changes. I think we're heading out the Monday after Father's Day, so that'll give us plenty of time to get there, I believe, and still see a few things on the way, and then we'll have more time coming back, so we plan on hitting a lot of places. If in the event you are at the bash, let me know if you're a subscriber of mine. I would really love to meet you. But anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you later, and we'll have hopefully a successful Barzy Bash casting complete for you by next week. We'll see. Not promising anything. For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.